a while back called the Galaxia, which is a old retro computer. So now, back in 1984, personal computers were kind of, I guess some would say, at their peak, or really had just come out, with computers such as the Apple Macintosh, the Commodore 64, the ZX Spectrum, and even the IMB ATPC, which had just come out for businesses at the time. Now, in what is now Yugoslavia, what happened was that there was a high import tax for these kind of machines, which made it, for consumers, almost impossible, prohibitively expensive to get a hold of. So, in 1984, in the January issue of a hobbyist magazine, a group of electronic engineers, just hobbyists actually, designed and built their own computer. Now, back in the 80s, a Z80 CPU running on 4 megahertz with 6K of RAM and 8K of ROM was a pretty mean machine. Give me 2 minutes, guys. So, now this story actually kind of goes back to my father and his experience with electronics. When he was younger, he actually built one of these with his friends, and in the process of retelling me this story, we actually refound the schematics and all the information online. And we actually had found a spare copy of that PCB that left back in his hometown, and we were able to retrieve it. So we actually went about recreating this machine, soldering all the parts by hand, and then programming it. And the first run wasn't quite as was expected. As you can see, it actually didn't give any kind of usable display. But after several hours of troubleshooting and reprogramming, we were able to finally get it working. And that's the finished story. So I actually have the machine here running. And the great thing about this machine was that it was fully programmable with a basic interpreter, which meant that you could just easily start typing your own program. And so this simple line of code will just print the words "Hello World," and then the next step was to go back to 10. Which gives you an infinite loop. What programming language is this used? This is BASIC. Before Visual Basic or any of your other higher level programming languages, this was the main one used by a lot of personal computers at the time. Very user friendly, as most of the market that were into programmers were just hobbyists. So this was kind of the first step in the 80s to start programming. Now, the machine itself doesn't have any onboard memory. So all the program saving and loading duties were actually handled via a cassette tape. So what actually happened is you'd write a program, and then you'd actually save it, and it would output as audio, kind of like your modem sounds. If anyone remembers that dial-up. And then what happened was that as a hobbyist machine at its time, there were many publications with printouts of all the code to put in your own programs, and even over the radio at certain times of the night, they would actually run certain programs on the radio.
So anyway. Is that what you said it was in the main stage? What's in the main stage?
So that's just my presentation. Thank you all for listening.